It all started in a world where the only curse I knew was when my Wi-Fi disconnected, and the scariest thing I'd faced was my phone battery dying right as the power cut. Oh, how innocent I was. The show kicks off by taking us to the before times, and speaking of innocence, sir! So you've decided to steal my heart. Well, you need to chill out. He's literally 16. He's not anymore. However, I acknowledge and understand your perspective.
Police! Help!
Oh wow, I love this song! It's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. What the what? Jujutsu Kaisen is pain in every sense of the word. I'm talking literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and every other LE I can't think of right now or no. Don't judge me, okay? I'm a softie. I vibe with everything. And this show shattered my soul. Season 2 covers two major story arcs, Hidden Inventory and the Shibuya Incident arc. Both entertaining enough to keep you hooked, but also harrowing enough to make you question your life choices. Season 2 is actually much better than the first in terms of context, as drama becomes a crucial element of the narrative. You'll be on the edge of your seat feeling like you need a therapy session after each episode. Who knew being traumatized could be so much fun? Yay! I got hooked on this season after watching just one episode. The way they delve into Gojo and Geto's past while connecting it to the Shibuya arc was brilliant. This series left me feeling empty, yet craving for more. The animation is absolutely awesome. It's the best I've ever seen, with a few exceptions, of course. The fight scenes are top-notch, incorporating real strategy that considers each character's abilities as well as their opponents. For example, I like how they explore how a power based on shooting compressed blood would be weakened by water, causing the blood cells to explode. Although there were moments where I got a bit lost at times, like when Gojo was explaining how his ability works, I suddenly got horrific flashbacks to my math classes. 75% of students are generally good at math, and I belong to the remaining 13%. This arc brings out the bromance between Gojo and Geto, giving us more details about their conflict from the movie Zero, and the heartache Gojo deals with by the end. I actually gave the movie another go after this arc just to get the full feels, but it's not all about the flashy fights. The emotional moments in this arc are equally impactful. We witness Geto's struggles and understand, to some extent, why he betrays his comrades. It turns out he was just a little bummed out, so he arrived at the obvious solution to his depression, which is humanity's extinction. Yeah, that makes sense. Once the past is explored, the story returns to the present, where the events of the Shibuya Incident arc kick off. The characters shine, even the villains, as their desperate struggles and brutal actions create unforgettable moments. The main plan of the curses is to overpower Gojo by trapping him in a prison dimension, making his domain expansion ineffective. It's a detailed and well thought out plan, which shows how smart and resourceful they are. This makes the fight more interesting and exciting, and the curses more dangerous. I also loved how throughout this sequence of events, the villains appeared as if they were the heroes facing off against the ultimate villain. Let's be honest, Gojo was definitely fighting dirty here, and enjoying it too. Although Gojo is at the center of this chaos, he's not the only one involved. Numerous sorcerers such as Nanami, Toto, Mei, Panda, Mekamaru, and others are all part of the escalating conflict. And speaking of others, so you really are blind, huh? Alright, you're here too. Yay. You go, girl. Give us nothing. The fuck was that? Aren't you the one that said, skill matters, but female sorcerers are judged by perfection? Now show us some skill, do like Cinderella, and sweep the floor. Another thing I absolutely loved about this season, maybe it's just me, but I felt like there was no plot armor. Both curses and sorcerers were being pushed to their limits. This can be attributed to two main factors, Mahito and Sukuna. Just like in the first season, Mahito is responsible for some of the most emotionally devastating moments. Seeing as he's a curse born of humanity's collective hatred and fear of each other, it makes sense that here he takes pleasure in making each kill personal for his victims, which only adds to his despicable nature. Mahito brings a personal touch to the season's painful moments, while Sukuna, being the natural disaster that he is, shows off his immense power and lives up to his title as King of Curses. He leaves nothing but ashes in his wake with his destructive power, but the real devastation occurs when Yuji regains control of his body. I think Yuji has become one of my favorite main characters in shonen anime because I find him sort of relatable. In a world where it's all about being tough and rewarding of negativity, he stands out as someone who's genuinely kind and caring. This season shows us just how brutal this world is for someone like Yuji. And unlike most shonen protagonists, when faced with the weight of his own powerlessness and his ideals and goals are challenged and laughed at through trial and error, he doesn't just power through, but actually wavers, doubts himself, conforms, and at one point sort of gives up. Even though the scale of events was beyond his control, he internalized everything as his own fault. We witnessed this before with him in season 1, but it's even more impactful in this new season. It makes him incredibly human, accessible, and grounded in my opinion, given that I'm such a big softie. Yuji is a lot more nuanced, with the hope that his contribution, no matter how small, can lead to a greater positive change in this cruel world. There were more heartbreaking moments in this season too, such as Nanami, who tragically met his end at the hands of Mahito after fearlessly battling against him despite severe injuries. However, Mahito's cunning and power proved overwhelming, resulting in Nanami's devastating demise. As he stood on the precipice of death, Nanami imagined the life he longed for, picturing himself in Malaysia, living his dream life and smiling, carefree. Yet, this was nothing more than a bittersweet dream, as we painfully recognized its impossibility. Nanami's death was one of the most tragic events in this arc that deeply affected Yuji, highlighting the harsh realities faced by Jujutsu sorcerers and the malevolence of cursed spirits. Nanami was valued for his calm demeanor and compassionate nature, intensifying the heartbreak felt by his loss. As for Nobara, I refuse to believe that she's gone for good. There's just no way. No way. She'll be back. I'm sure of it. Nobara is fine. It's just a scratch. She's fine. She's fine. Then there's the matter of Megumi. His past is explored in more depth as he faces his father, Toji, a notorious assassin and the worst father ever. However, I had mixed feelings towards Megumi's character development this season, which was almost none. It was great seeing Maoraga in action, finally, but I felt like Megumi was overshadowed by other characters such as Yuji and Nobara and didn't get much time to shine on his own. Overall though, he has a lot of potential and he's one of my favorite characters from the show, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of him in the future. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has intense battles that are executed with great skill. However, sometimes the fights got a little bit confusing because of how massive in scale they were. Despite this, it has more great moments than amiss. The animation is amazing, with intense and strategic fight scenes. The characters, even the villains, are memorable and relatable. While there may have been some confusing moments in the battles, the overall impact of the story and character development is fantastic.